he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here, he throws it away, and now it's third.
Whether they deserve credit or not, the defense is going to take credit for that incompletion because it always feels good when you slow down an offense.
Hey, we got tight left. Watch tight end. Watch tight end. Key him. Key the tight end. All right, here we go. Boom, landed. Boom.
On third down, Osweiler dumps it complete to Miller. Look at the spin.
Balance.
They get 14 yards there and a first down. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's Texans football as we get going in quarter number 2, and they've got it here with a first down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And a decent gain there as that takes us to the 2-minute warning. Give him 4 yards on the play, and that will lead us into the 2-minute warning. Now it's Osweiler. And his throw is going to be incomplete. C.J. Fedorowicz, the intended receiver, and it's third down.
There's so much precision in an offense, especially when you're throwing the ball. And in an out route, plenty of it. How about the quarterback hitting his back foot, ball's out of his hands, receiver making his break, making his cut. He's got to time up perfectly. Not always easy to do.
Just let him a little too much.
Yeah, I remember back in the good old days, I was talking to a quarterback, and he said everything they did was on the count system. So when he took a snap, he counted in his head for certain routes, different time frames for each one, and he knew if the ball wasn't out of his hand at that point, he'd better eat it because the play was dead.
Here's Osweiler to throw. He's got time. Underneath for Miller. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. They'll give him 8 on the play, and it'll bring up a second down. And they're going to speed things up here. Off the play fake. Here's Osweiler. And the rookie Braxton Miller with it. Touchdown, Houston. Braxton Miller, 38 yards. And the Texans are an extra point away from taking the lead.
I think if you polled defensive backs, they would say the corner route, take that out, make it illegal, because that is so hard to recognize and so hard to adjust because your first move is to not get beat in the middle of the field. And that's how they move you first before they break off to the corner.
But then as the wide receiver, great job. It's tough to turn those upfield and go, but he did a great job with it there.
Really good balance, really good body control. And how about the end result? A touchdown.
Now it's Novak on. He'll send this one away following the touchdown. Archer, the return. Oh, a nifty juke there.
Not much fun for a guy trying to tackle it.
Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. Last time they were out, they scored. Still trailing here, though, so some work to do.
But it's okay in terms of mindset. Because they scored the last time, they're not quite as worried about being down on the scoreboard because now their confidence is a little bit higher. They feel like they got something going, and they feel like they can attack again and put more points on the board.
Are you scoreboard watching if you're the offense, or are you just focused on this drive?
We wouldn't be telling the truth if we said that they didn't scoreboard watch. Everyone does it to some extent, but you've got to set it aside right now and just focus on this series. That'll take care of the scoreboard if they punch it into the end zone.
Brady now to throw. And unable to connect on the long pass. It falls down incomplete.
Looks like they wanted to stay in attack mode after breaking off that nice chunk on their first play. They've decided to heave it downfield on this one.
Yeah, that first play, though, successful. Try number 2, unsuccessful. Brady again here on 2nd and 10. And unsuccessful there, trying to dump it underneath. That'll bring up third down.
Pretty nice coverage there, but a missed opportunity for an interception. Let's face it, a lot of these defenders, they've got it all. Speed, athleticism, hands, a little bit questionable.
So still a full 10 yards to go here for the offense on third down. Throwing is Brady on third down. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now.
So many offenses want to include their running backs into their passing offense and be able to swing the ball out or check it down to them. But sometimes those guys are just not as comfortable catching the ball as they are running it.
Brady to throw for it on fourth down. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. Well, the D brought the house. They called the blitz, and they get to the quarterback, overwhelming the O-line.
And I would love to know, and we'll find out later on, was that called before the play, or did they audible into it? Because defenses change plays as well as offenses. Sometimes they get the set they want. They go right to the...
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So as they take it over, we step aside. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. This from 54 yards away. And that is no good. He gave it a good run. That wasn't more than a foot or so wide to the left. So that would have been something from that distance, but to no avail. Comes up empty as we have reached the intermission. As we send you over to our headquarters in Orlando, where we check in with Larry Ridley for our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, let's get it going. Let's roll those first half highlights. Midway through the first quarter, it's going to be a run play here. And a quick 3-play drive ends with a score. The lead now at 6. 2nd and 2 coming up. Catch is made after a quick pass. This play goes for a score. Texans go up by 1. 1st and 10. Pass will be completed over the middle.
And actually, Larry, hold that thought. We're right back to the action. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Out comes a Houston offense as they get set to take over here. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first.
And now Miller hit, and he fumbles.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover.
The head coach relied on his eagle eye in the sky to make the right call and was told to challenge it, and it looks like it's paid off.
And from a coach's standpoint, when you throw that flag, it's probably a pretty tense moment. Here it pays off.
Yeah, you have that little bit of indecision. You throw it where you feel like you're right, and then you think,